So if you are looking to take your next solo trip, your first solo trip, whatever the case may be, stay tuned to the end of this video. I've got some fantastic tips and hints and hacks for you. And these ain't your generic tips, guys. So get what you need to get right, and we can get right into the proceedings this evening.
I love this.
Diamondz, it's me again, Sic'Nis, which is an acronym that stands for Succeed in Impossible Circumstances Needs Intellectual Strength. But I do know you know this already, Diamondz. We do this every week. And I just wanted to take this moment, Diamondz, just to say a thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your support, your encouragement. The DMs have been going crazy. They've been popping off. And in response to some of the messages I've received from you beautiful Diamondz, episode 24 is dedicated about how I prepare for travel abroad, solo travel, international travel, travel full stop. The first stage, Diamondz, is to figure out the motive. What's the objective, goal, aim? And you know I'm going to bang on about objectives and goals on this channel. But plan to fail, fail to plan. So what's the objective? What's your motive? Is it rejuvenation? Do you want all-out 5-star luxury? Do you want to explore? Is it relaxation? Is it adventure? Figure out what the motive is for your journey. Or maybe you're just, I don't know, you might be at some sort of impasse, or you're just having some sort of transition in your life, bit of spontaneity, you want something different. Then stage 2 in planning for your trip is setting your budget. Now, is it endless? And if it is, then lucky you. However, if it's not, I need you to understand, Diamondz, that you do not need to be rich to travel. Of course, we would all love the Seychelles lifestyle, 5-star all-inclusive all the time. However, do not let not having that type of budget or lifestyle deter you from getting out there and enjoying the beauty of this world. Diamondz, it's absolutely amazing. You can have just as memorable a trip on a couple of £100 budget as you can on a £2,000 budget. Okay, Diamondz, so just hear me out in what I mean by that, right? The experience that you have is going to be more real and more pure because you are going to be immersed in the culture, in the lifestyle of this country. Flights are always going to be cheaper with Ryanair. Let's just call a spade, Diamondz. The flights are always going to be dirt cheap with Ryanair. You can get them for like $250, $350, $450. However, one thing to bear in mind when booking these flights is their hand luggage policy is absolutely ridiculous. It's like literally a rucksack. So a handy tip is to book priority, pay for priority at the time of purchase of your tickets. Pay for the option that includes priority and 2 cabin bags. So you get like 10 kilo hand luggage. EasyJet is a little bit more expensive than Ryanair. However, you do get 10 kilo hand luggage included as standard, so you need to weigh up the options. It might work out better if you get the cheaper flight with Ryanair, pay the 7 to 10 quid for the priority in your 2 cabin bags, and then 15 quid one way sorted times 2 return flight. Now, as John Steinbeck says, people don't take trips take people. So as soon as you've decided that you're doing this, what you'll find is the city that you're going to end up in, or the country that you're going to end up in, you'll just be drawn to it. Those are the times you make the best memories. So now that you've set your budget, it's time to pick the city. And you're probably thinking, Sicky, how do I pick a city out of all of these? Going back to what I said to you about the flights, what you do is, and everyone I believe should know this tip by now, guys, everybody should be going to Skyscanner, putting in your local airport or your departure airport, and then in the destination, just put everywhere. It will populate a list of all flights available on your selected date, and also it will sort it from the lowest price upwards. You could do that. You could pick a city that way. If you're on a budget, for example, and you're doing a spontaneous one, you could search everywhere, find the place with the cheapest flight, bearing in mind the tips I told you earlier about, you know, the luggage, etc. You can pick a city that way. It's important to know your boundaries as well, Diamonds. Perhaps if you're going on a solo trip, for example, don't try and do a boozy holiday when you don't have a wingman who's going to have your back and look out for you. Just be sensible. Another way you can pick a city is you can ask your friends and family for recommendations. You know, ask them where they've been, where they think that you'll like, where they've really enjoyed. And the third way is, as some of you have already been doing, is you can send me a message. I'll curate a trip for you. Some people are like, Sicky, I can't be asked with the booking. I don't know how to do all of that. Incidentally, guys, the cheapest flight I have purchased has been for 50 pence. Incidentally, Diamonds, the cheapest flight I've purchased has been for 50 pence. So, you know, gal, you go, I've got you. Do follow the Instagram and the Twitter. And we can get the conversation popping. Alternatively, my email is in the description. Another handy tip that I can give you, Diamonds, is screenshot your boarding pass. If you don't use wallets, you're not into that. And also people don't like putting their details in certain things. If you're not using the Apple Wallet or the wallet on your phone, you can just screenshot the boarding pass, save it to your photos, and then favorite it so you can find it quickly and easily. Also, another suggestion, if you are one of these people that uses the Apple Pay, Google Pay function, do add your card to the wallet, because you can pay for purchases on the plane using Apple Pay or Google Pay, and it works in flight mode. If you're not a person that likes to use the wallet function, then what you can do is, once you get past security, buy yourself a drink from duty free and put it in the bag. You can also pop any excess luggage that you have in that bag also. Just be sure not to open it before you get on the plane. As long as it's sealed, you can take it on the plane with you. So now you've figured out your motive, you've set your budget, and you've picked a city. The next step is to do your research on the place that you are now going to, the place that you've booked your flights to. You now need to do your research, and that's going back to step one. That's why it's so important to figure out your motive beforehand, because now you've got some sort of idea of what you're going to be looking for what you want to do. Read reviews, use TripAdvisor, and also just reach out to people. If you're active on social media or things like that, just hop into the community of the city. The kinds of research that I like to do is, I like to, for example, find out the distance from the airport to my accommodation, find out the different routes that I can take, the costs, look into different activities, excursions that I may want to do, or landmarks that I will want to visit in the city. I love an old town. I love to find out about the history of the place, especially if my ancestors have been there. So I'm happy in an old town. I'm happy wandering around. I'm happy looking at architecture and things like that. You just got to know what it is that you want to do. If you're a beach person and you know that, oh, well, I just want to be in my bikini all day, then find out where the local beach is, how you're going to get there, and read reviews. The information is out there, Diamonds, and you can find it easily if you know what you're looking for. When it comes to hotels, again, this comes down to your budget, Diamond. That's why it's so important to set it in the beginning. If you're on a budget, for example, do you actually need to go all-inclusive? What are you going there for? Again, figure out your motive. What are you going there for? If you're literally only going to be there in bed and then going to be out most of the day exploring the land, then get room only or cup of breakfast with it at least, and then get yourself a bottle at duty free and take a flask from home. Another handy tip, take a flask from home, an empty flask, and then you can top up with water to keep hydrated, or your little tipple if that's what you so choose. Also, you'll find that the local supermarkets, there's an Aldi and Lidl everywhere, especially in Europe, Diamond. You won't go far wrong. Diamondz. Also, when it comes to hotels, don't overlook some of these more traditional style of hotels where the ambiance is different, the food is local and exquisite, and for bargain prices also. So do check that out. Booking.com is a great place to begin to explore. I've got so much experience in travel, Diamondz. I should do a whole series on it, but look into the local guest houses as well. If you've got nerves of steel and you don't necessarily need to have the hotel booked before you go, you don't need to necessarily know where you're staying, you can also land there and wait for a cancellation, and that way you could end up with a 5-star hotel at a 2-star price because someone's cancelled and you just get a discounted rate. That's also an option. But however, as I mentioned, you do have to have certain chutzpah. Is that the word? Chutzpah. If you intend to pull that one off. So now, Diamondz, we've done the research. We've picked the city. We've booked the flights. We know where we're going. The next thing that we need to do is travel light. Shout out Children of Zeus on that one. That's actually their album title and EP title, and I absolutely love it. It's a dope album, so do check that out. But now we need to travel light, and again goes back to the very first step, figuring out your motive. This will determine what you are going to put in your luggage. As I mentioned earlier on with the flights, we spoke about the hand luggage policy, so you need to be mindful of what you're doing. However, if you're a solo traveller, you probably are going to want to just do hand luggage only for ease of manoeuvrability and getting around the city whenever you land there. So the plane is going to be cold. You'll need a jumper or a jacket. Temperature is going to dip at night, so you're obviously going to need something to account for that also. Wear your heavies clothes to the airport, like the jumpers, whatever. Planning, as we said, Diamondz, fail to plan, plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. How are you planning to get around the island? Look into hiring bikes, the e-bikes. I'm never going to recommend a scooter. So the e-bikes or the mopeds, the e-mopeds. Cultra was the brand I used in Ibiza. I hired it actually from the store in Ibiza, but in other countries, they actually have an app and you can just do it on the spot via the app. And they're really, really handy. And at this point, Diamondz, I think this is a very good time to give you the secret sauce, the secret hack that I told you I was going to give you in the beginning of this video. Ta-da! Never, don't. This is a life hack, Diamondz. One universal plug, adapter, one extension lead. All UK plugs into this. All UK plugs into this. And if you want an upgrade on this hack, get a USB one. Get one with USB ports in. And kudos to you if you're one of those jammy dodgers who knew about this hack already. Or years ago, or much more years ago than I did. However, when I found out, it changed my life, and I vowed that I would spread the word to every other avid traveller that I meet on my travels. And I certainly have. So yes, there's loads of hints and tips. I'm going to have to do another video, Diamondz, to give it justice. I'm going to have to do another video so I can break down all the tips and tricks. Because I know a few of you are asking me, as SicNis, I really want to go away, but I'm on a tiny budget and I want to know how can I have fun and still have a great time on a budget. So I will do another video on that for you, Diamondz. However, if you have made it this far, I know that you will love, actually a couple of things I know you'll love. You'll love the Ibiza blog, which is my birthday shenanigans in Ibiza. And I'll put the link up. And also 5 lessons I've learned traveling solo. Now you do need to check out both videos. Diamondz, as you know, I love sharing info. So in my Ibiza blog, I share with you 5 mistakes never to make when you're traveling solo. And also in my video that I'll place up there. 5 lessons I've learned traveling solo, where I also share some hints and tips with you, Diamonds. So thank you so much for tuning in once again. Thank you so much for all your support and your encouragement. If you've made it this far, thumb me up. Subscribe and switch on notifications. And also let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you want to know next? Are we going deeper? Are we going lighter? I'll be spitting bars. Let me know what you're feeling. Are we going live? I'll see you next week with a few more videos. And until then, Diamonds, peace, love, and Sic'Nis.